watching everything that's been going on here with the Confederate flag. Um, this is a good topic to have a discussion about. This is something that should be such a non-topic, and yet it is. And there's very strong reasons why it is. And I think if we go over them, maybe we'll learn something together here, or at least understand things better. First off, the Confederate flag was flown over the Confederate States of America. This is back to the Civil War, which was a fight over slavery. It's the North said, you cannot have slaves. The South said, we're going to anyway. But understand that slavery was only a piece of it. There were other things the South didn't like, and they wanted to have their own freedom. They wanted to create their own confederacy of states. And of course today we're all one big happy country because that never happened. But the South never really got rid of that flag. They kind of look at it as a source of pride, a Southern thing. This is a Southern pride thing. Whereas this is our second flag. It's something to us. The problem is some people have twisted that image, and it evokes remembrance of slavery because it's a reminder of rebellion when the South was rebelling against the North, and when people wanted to keep their slaves, and people think the Confederacy flag legitimately represents slavery in America. It truly, in its deepest roots, does not. It is simply just nothing more than a representation of the South. It's not, there's no meaning attached to it. It's kind of like a glory thing. This is the Southern flag, yay, all right, look at us. But when you have crazy people that go around and commit acts of prejudice and racism, and they have these flags around their houses, their trailers, their cars, whatever, quickly people associate one with the other. I gotta say, if someone put up a Nazi flag in my hometown, I'd be nervous. Not that I've ever was attacked by a Nazi. They existed before my time. But the point is, it's a symbol that in our minds up here, represents another time that was not good in history. And this is the problem with the Confederate flag, because there's a duality to it. There is a Southern pride, which there's nothing wrong with. And then there's a racist thing, which there's everything wrong with it. So, do we burn the flag? Do we allow the flag? I think what we need to realize is, again, this is a duality issue. It is not a hate symbol like the Nazi flag. The Nazi flag was all about subjugating the Jewish people, nothing else. Anybody that's ever flown that flag has been about racism. They have not been about pride of Germany or anything of like that. It has never been a proud symbol. It has always been a symbol of anger, rage, and racism. The Southern flag, the Confederacy flag, again, is duality. Some see it as a source of pride, while others see it as a hate symbol. I think for that reason alone, that we should judge on a case by case what that flag means. If you're going to hang it at a government building, then it should be hung there in a matter of Southern pride and not racial prejudice. And if you can say that and prove that, I think you deserve to have that flag up there. You should be able to allow to do so. But if you hang that flag and you hang it, you're saying to people around you, you're not going to be included in this. You're not the Southerners. You are the people that we don't want. And this symbol that we're hanging on this flagpole is to tell you we're coming to get you. That symbol must be removed. It doesn't belong. No more than a Nazi flag belongs in your neighborhood does a Confederate flag belong if its representation is hate and racism. The simple and easiest solution would be to burn all Confederate flags and not allow them. I also think it's the most childish solution because we are adults and we can see that this flag does have a dual meaning and we can participate in that. There's no reason that a person, a colored person, black person, African American, whatever you want to call them, cannot have as much Southern pride as anyone else. There's no reason that they cannot hang this flag in their house or from the front of their house just as much as anyone else can. They can be proud. But when you look at it from back where it came from, the Civil War, it is still a very touchy thing. And I definitely fully understand that. I really do. I do. It's again, it's a really difficult topic. It's like it's it's like abortion. How do you solve that one? You can see one person can see one side, one can see the other. Neither's any more wrong than the other. There's no wrong side here. Should I have to walk through the streets and be reminded of slavery? Should I feel that my life is in danger because this flag flies in my town? No, you shouldn't. That's not right. But at the same point, if you are doing nothing more than celebrating the fact that you are from the South, and that is the only interpretation you have, should you be told you cannot fly this flag? And the answer to that's no, you should not be told that. So it's really a difficult thing. And the only reason it's being looked at right now, it's such a microscope at this moment, is because it represents this racial divide that we have. We have these people that they're totally racist and they look at this flag as their banner. This is our right to be this way because this flag represents our right to be racist, bigoted, and think this way. And then you have these other people on the other side that they say, we are so proud of the fact we're from the South. We're not looking to leave the country, but we are proud to be Southerners, and we should be able to have this flag. Consider this once. Every state has its flag. 50 states, 50 flags. A lot of the states, maybe not all, but a lot of the states are proud of their flag, and they fly it all over the place. It is a source of pride. No one flies the flag with the consideration, no one flies a state flag with the consideration that it means that they are going to separate from the United States. Does not mean that. When the state of Texas flies their flag, they're not saying, this is our flag, we do not respect the United States, this is our country. That is not it. They are flying it because they're proud to be from Texas. No one has a problem with that. And when you're in the great state of Texas, you don't sit there and look at that flag and say, this means they're going to want to lynch me and kill me. You don't even have that thought. You don't, because it never meant that way. It was never used in that context, ever. It never was. So you don't have that thought. So your state flag is fine. But this flag, the Confederate flag, that represents a region of the United States, that also represent a struggle against slavery, or for slavery, I guess would be the proper way to say it in this case. It definitely causes a lot of issues and a lot of feelings. And again, it's understandable. I can see, this is a case where I can see both sides of the coin. I can understand why people don't want this flag flying. I can understand why people do. And truly, it's a difficult one to win. Again, it's all about freedom. Do we have the freedom to fly a flag simply because we are proud of the fact that we are Southern people? Or do we see it as nothing more than racial subjugation being done on a quiet manner, where people are just, it's kind of like bringing back the little producing when they're hanging this flag over ceremonies, over government buildings, over get-togethers. I'd like to think that what we're saying here is we're all one happy South together, and this is our flag that represents us. Because if it's not like that, they should take every damn one of those flags and burn them immediately, because we do not have room for racism in this country. We should never tolerate it. We would certainly burn Nazi flags in the United States if they cropped up, because they are such a symbol of hate. And if this is nothing more than a symbol of hate, no one can prove otherwise, then I say they all got to go. And so that's what we're stuck here. That's why we fight over this. That's why we debate over it. We argue about it, because there are two sides to the coin. Neither side is wrong, and either side believes that the other should give in. You know, it's like, if you're a colored person, you go, this is symbol racism. Why can't you get rid of it to prove to us that racism no longer exists in the South? Why can't you let us feel that we've made it past the Civil War, that we're not slaves, that we're not seen as these people, that we're part of society? This flag excludes us, whether you believe it or not. Just get rid of it. Let it go. And on the other side of the fence, people are saying, we don't mean anything by this but pride. We're proud of the fact we're from the South. You can be proud too. You can fly this flag as well. This is what we are. This is what says we're from the southern United States. We're not from the north. It doesn't mean we're going to succeed from the Union. It does not mean that we think people should be slaves. It simply means that we're taking root with the fact that we are from a certain place and we identify with each other. And this is the root of the whole issue. It will never be resolved to anyone's satisfaction, nor can it be. And so I say to you, let's look at the problem from a different perspective. If you're going to hang that flag, hang it because you want to include everyone as a Southerner. Because if you do not, you are a racist bastard. You should burn that flag, and you should never be allowed to have it. Never. And if you are hanging that flag, and you're telling yourself this is Southern pride, then you better damn well be inviting all your neighbors, regardless of race, sex, creed, whatever. All your neighbors should be allowed to visit wherever you put that flag, because that flag then represents them too. As long as they live in the South, that is their flag also. And if it's not going to be their flag also, then it does not belong to you. And that is how I feel. Because you are identifying the Confederate flag as like a state flag, which represents we the people. And if you're going to represent the people, you represent all the people. No matter what. All the people. No exceptions. So there you go. That's your solution. When you hang that flag, you think about why you're hanging it. And if there's one bit of hatred to that, don't do it. Just don't. Don't bother. And at this point, I invite your comments, for or against. It don't matter. You're welcome to your beliefs here as well. And I'd definitely like you to go down there, right down there to the feedback part, and enter your thoughts. Let me know how you feel about this. Are you enraged, or can't understand it? Do you think it's funny? I don't know. But let me know your thoughts. And if they're different than mine, that's fine. I don't care. That's fine. At least you have an opinion, and I'm willing to listen.